If Casio wanted to make a better version of the GA2100 but in ProTrek, this would be it. Have an exciting ProTrek which is budget friendly as well as it packs a punch. Let's start with the unboxing experience. We have an eco-friendly ProTrek box from Casio and it is made up of sustainable bio-recycled materials. Once you open the box, you have a cloth bag which you get in almost all Casio watches at the moment from any model you choose except for the Use and the Enticer and the Edify series. This cloth bag has been quite useful at some times when you're traveling, so you can use that. And you have the ProTrek logo again, and inside you have the watch's features and you have the price tag again inside, the module 5732 catalog and some other catalog as well, and the warranty information. And you have the watch. The unboxing experience is quite simple. Let's start with the case diameter. It has a 50.3 mm case diameter with a 46 mm and a height of 13.6 mm, which is quite thin. It weighs only 44 grams. It is made up of bio-based resin as well as resin materials, and it has a mineral glass display with 100 meters of water resistance. If you go for the more tech-savvy part of it, it has Bluetooth connectivity and tough solar. Otherwise, the watch features world time, alarm, timer, stopwatch, and lume and backlight as well, which I'll get back to later. When it comes to the design of this ProTrek, Casio has drawn inspiration from the GA2100 and improved it for the ProTrek. So when you basically look at the design, it doesn't resemble you of the GA2100, but a unique looking ProTrek watch, which is eons different from other ProTreks. You have a rotating bezel which says lock and unlock, which is to be discussed in a separate section. So when you look at the watch, you have the ProTrek Casio logo at the 12 o'clock position, and you have bright luminous markers for each indices. They're not of the same size, but they're legible. And you have the hour and minute markers which are heavily lumed as well. Here is where you have a similarity between the GA2100 and this watch. You have a digital display which is bigger than the GA2100, which is also a negative display, and you have the wheel which shows you different settings. So that is the only similarity you can say this has with the GA2100. More of a field watch or military vibe to it. So basically, ProTreks are outdoor watches, so they have to offer the best. So there's a special feature of this watch. It can withstand temperature up to minus 10 degrees centigrade, which is common in all ProTrek watches, but at this segment it isn't. So when you look closer into the watch, you can see the negative display, but in this case, you can see it in all light conditions. Not like the GA2100, which is smaller and a little difficult to see in many places, but this negative display is legible almost everywhere. The design of the watch is so good that you will forget that you need to see the time through the digital display. The analog is just sufficient. And you have a hacksaw kind of design to the mode wheel. You have the Bluetooth on the top and you have the battery indicator as well as stopwatch, timer, and alarm, which are the functions of this watch. While time is there, you can just toggle between the different time zones. The color scheme of this watch is also really great, and the buttons are colored mode. They adjust the light is colored in gray, whereas the start is in orange, which is a vibe going on in the design of this watch. You have a lot of orange, white, and beige here and there, which is actually a very subtle and cool thing to this watch. And when you look at the case back, you have the standard ProTrek design, which is quite flat, and the watch is really thin, and you have the model number, and this watch it is cased in Thailand but has a Japanese. It has this light beige color to it. It's more of a resin plastic than any stainless steel material. If you like the video so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I do everything related to watches and watches only. And I'm in the process of reaching 5,000 subscribers. Please do support the channel by hitting the subscribe button. This basically is a lock and unlock function. You can actually rotate the bezel clockwise and anti-clockwise. Clockwise locks it, anti-clockwise unlocks it. What basically this lock and unlock does is, it gives you more accessibility to the buttons. So when you keep it in unlock position, you get a different shape as well. If you like it that way, you can keep it that way. Or if you keep it in the lock position, you have a more trapezoidal design, whereas unlock gives you a better design if you like it. What I think is purpose of the bezel is, if you lock it, accidentally you would not press any button. Still you'll be able to press the button in the watch, but it will be difficult to activate them. But if you keep it in unlock position, you can easily toggle between the buttons, which makes it much easier. the lume and the backlight. This watch has both of them. Normally if you take Casio, either it will be a backlight or it will be a lume, but it is one of the Casios which does both of them perfectly. If you go in bright sunlight, you have a bright lume to actually see the time. Because this being an outdoor watch, it's really essential. And you have a really good backlight as well. So this is a double powered backlight, but it is similar in placement of the GA2100 at the 4 o'clock position. But it is not as faint as the GA2100, but it is much more powerful. I have used this watch in almost all conditions tested out thoroughly, and I didn't have any problems as such with the watch. Maybe once you're wearing the watch, the buckle might be a little tight or loose. Once that is done, you don't have to think that you're wearing a watch. Even if you sweat a lot and if it's too sunny as well, you won't have any problems. But if you're a person who has OCD and feels like the glass is quite smudgy with your fingerprint, then it is a little concern. This happens in almost all watches, so it's not a thing that you need to be afraid of, but it's just something I have to tell. This watch is priced at $10,495, which is a really good price point. If you're a person who thinks that you're not liking the GA2100 or the G-Shock as such, the ProTrek can be a really good option. So ProTrek has always been an outdoor watch. So you have toughness to it, and it's a real outdoor watch compared to a G-Shock. Even if you buy a GA2100, you'll be paying around 8,000 to 9,000 rupees, but the ProTrek, you're getting it for just 1,500 rupees more. So I think it's a really good option, and if you're a person who wants to start with the ProTrek, this would be it. Before making any conclusions, I would like to say that this watch is quite big. It's around 50mm. It might wear too big. If you're a person who wants a smaller watch, this is definitely not going to cut the chase. ProTreks are normally very huge watches, but this one is not as huge as the other ProTreks, but still it's quite big if you have a wrist of 6 inches and less. These are my honest thoughts on the Casio PRJ B001. This is a really good watch if you're going to start with the ProTrek collection. This budget just feels right if you want an adventurous sport watch from Casio other than the G-Shock. You can get this in a discount, but you'll have to wait a year or 8 months at the top to get it on discount, and it might be more value for money at that time, even though it's still value for money. If you haven't seen my previous video about the Baudry Voyager, you can check it out here, and the playlist of all the watch videos I've made over here. I'll see you next with a brand new exciting watch. Until then, peace out.